Friends, we are going to learn in this unit objectives of accounting. Why we should do accounting? By doing accounting, what you will achieve? Objective. End product is objective. Scope is what is that we are going to cover? Coverage and scope. For what it is applicable? Coverage. Which are the areas it is going to cover? Objective means ultimately by involving in this activity, what I will achieve. The end product is objective. Okay. There should be a systematic recording of transactions. The objective of accounting is it will ensure that all the transactions are systematically recorded. Recording cannot be done in any manner as you like. It is to be recorded in a proper manner. There is a system for that. Accordingly only recording should be done. So, accounting will help you to do a systematic recording of all the transactions. So, systematic recording of transactions. Understanding the effects based on the above recorded transaction. So, what is the results of this? What is the effect? How does it affect me? Whether it's going to give me any benefit or not, whether the company is going to make a profit or not. Based on the recorded transaction, I will be able to understand what effect, what impact it has on the users. Understanding the financial position of the business. What is financial position? The position of your assets and liabilities. Whether assets are more than liabilities or liability more than asset. Which is most desirable? Assets more than liability or liability more than asset. Suppose I have 5 crores money in my bank account. Can we say my financial position is good? What is my financial position? 5 crores bank balance. Is it good? No, you can't come to a conclusion based on what are my assets. Should also see what are my liabilities. You know my liabilities are 10 crores. But I have only 5 crores in the bank. So, will I be able to pay off the liability in full? Whether I am financially sound or not. Whether I am financially solvent or not. Whether the money that is available with me, whether my assets are sufficient to cover my liabilities or not. Or my liabilities are more than my assets, I may become an insolvent. Whether the company is solvent or insolvent. Whether the business is capable of repaying all their liabilities. In addition to that, do they have surplus money? What is their position? Financially, are they sound? Are they weak? Accounting will help you to understand that. A balance sheet will tell you what is the financial status of a company as on a particular date. What a balance sheet tells you, it gives a list of assets and liabilities on a particular date. On the one side you record all the asset, other side you record all the liabilities. It is equal. How sir asset liability can be equal? You are telling that either asset should be more than liability or liability should be more than asset. But in a balance sheet, assets and liabilities are always equal. That means, what is our achievement? Our achievement is our funds invested in the business. The shareholders' funds in the business is available to the shareholders of the company. That is achievement. So, using my money of 1 crore, now it has increased to 5 crores. I made so much of profit and I have lot of reserves in my business. So, when I have reserves in the business, what does it mean? I have created more wealth. My liabilities are less. So, take a simple example like this. I have a house worth 2 crores. I have taken a loan from the bank for 1 crore 80 lakhs. Am I the owner of the house? I have to repay that loan. Till I repay the loan, the house may be in my name legally, but for all practical purposes, I am not the owner. If I am unable to repay the loan, what the banker will do? They will take over the property. Simple, they'll auction the property is not yours. Therefore, what is your asset? 2 crore. What is a liability? 1.8 crore. That means what is your worth? Wealth. Wealth or worth is equal to asset minus liabilities. What is asset minus liability equal to? You know the basic accounting equation. If you are able to understand or visualize a balance sheet will be like this. Capital on this side, liabilities on this side, assets on the other side. So what do you understand from this? My capital is my money, liabilities what I have taken from others, I'll put both to acquire my asset. Will it not be equal, you tell me? Will it not be equal? Suppose my capital is 10 rupees, I have taken loan of 90, my asset is 100. Is it possible or not? So a balance sheet will tell you what is your worth in that business. What is your money in the business? Your balance sheet may show you have assets worth 100, but you have liabilities also worth 90. That means what? In that asset, your proportion is 10% only. Now, if you keep on repaying the loan, what will happen? Loan will reduce, asset value will remain the same, your capital will start increasing. How will you repay the loan? You have to earn money and repay. So you make profit. From the profit you repay the loan. After repaying the loan, some more profit is available that will be added to your capital. So what will happen? Suppose out of 90 you have repaid the loan now. Now it is 80. Then what will be your capital? It will become 20. It will become 20, is it not? So a day will come when all the liabilities are wiped off. The asset of 100 will be yours. So therefore, whether your assets are more than liability or liabilities are more than assets can be seen from the balance sheet. Don't see the total. Total will be same only because very simple. If somebody has to buy an asset, he puts his own money to some extent. For the balance, he takes a loan. So capital plus liability is equal to assets. No doubt about that. Therefore, what is your money in a business equal to? Capital equal to assets minus liabilities. So, 10 years before, my capital was 1 lakh. Now it is 5 lakh. Have I grown or not? Simple idea. You put 1 lakh in a bank deposit. Keep that money for 5 years. It will become more than 1.7 lakh. It may become 1.8 lakh, provided the rate of interest is around 10%. It may even become 2 lakh. So, what was your original capital? 1 lakh. Asset 1 lakh. 1 lakh, 1 lakh. Now, what happened? In 1 year, you made an income of 10,000. Now, asset became 110, capital also became 110. Second year, that 1 lakh 10 fetch you an interest of 11,000. Now, asset became 1 lakh 21, capital became 1 lakh 21. Like that, you just keep on compounding. At a point of time, you will find that your asset is 2 lakh, capital is also 2 lakh without any liability. That means the entire money is yours. There is a growth in your investment. That is what we have to see from a business. Whether in a business, my financial position has improved or deteriorated. What has happened? Is there a decline or a erosion of my capital or growth in my capital? Accounting will tell you that. The objective of accounting is to help you understand whether you are financially solvent, sound or weak. whether you are able to repay your liabilities and still have some more assets in your hand for further growth, or at least in the short term, I have a loan to be paid tomorrow. Do I have sufficient money now? Working capital, long term capital, fixed capital, then fluctuating or floating capital. Whether these things can be seen, yes, from the financial position of a business. Asset minus liability will give a clear understanding what is your money in the business. Unless accounting is done, unless you record, unless you classify, unless you finally prepare the financial statement, how will you understand what is happening in a business? So, accounting objective is to help you understand the financial position of a business. Objective. What is objective? What is your objective? As a student, your objective is to become chartered accountant and to earn lot of money. No problem. But is that the only objective you have in life? No. You should acquire knowledge. Because knowledge is wealth. So, every activity or every person will always have two objectives in life. Both run together, understand carefully, and one is complementary to the other one. We can divide objectives in life to two categories: long term, short term. What is short term objective of a business? To make profit. No doubt about that. What is my or your objective? To earn money. But is that the only objective you have in life? No. To become a good human being. That is the main objective in life. To be happy, to be peaceful. That should be your objective. So, money will give happiness, no doubt. But only money will not give happiness. Is it not? So, like that, we have a long term objective, we have a short term objective also. While I am pursuing the chartered accountancy course, my immediate objective for you guys is to clear the foundation exam. That is the immediate objective. Okay, you have cleared foundation. Have you become chartered accountant? No. You have to do intermediate. Have you become CA? No. You have to do final. So, only when you clear final, you become a chartered accountant. So, what is your objective? To become chartered accountant. That is long term. Maybe it will take 4 or 5 years. But what is the immediate objective? To clear foundation. So, this is short term, that is long. As you keep on achieving your short term goals in life, that will complement you to achieve the long term objectives in life. You understand? So, you should always have a goal and work towards it. What I should become in my life. At age of 25, what I should be. Age of 40, what should be my position. Like that, you should have an objective in life. And you should clearly tread that path to reach that objective. Like that, every business has an objective. Not one, twin, double objective, two objectives. What are they? To earn, to grow. Earn is one objective. Grow is the ultimate objective. Earning will help you grow, provided you properly utilize your earning. If there are people who earn 5 lakhs a month, they do not have 1 rupee also now. What happened? They spend all the money. They earn, but they have not grown. That is useless. But I know some people earning only 10,000 a month. They save 1,000 a month. After 10 years, they will have 2 lakhs. But another person earning 5 lakhs, spending everything, 10 years, they don't have anything at all. Whether your business has helped you to earn short term, whether your business has grown, is there any development, what is your financial position, whether your assets are more than liabilities or your capital has deteriorated, can be seen from the accounting activity. So, financial position of business can be understood by accounting. So that is one of the main objectives of accounting. Next one, provide information to users. So from the beginning we have been telling the same thing. Provide information to users, based on they can make decision. See, to take or make any decision you need information, correct? Whether to join CA course or not, you have to take a decision. You need some information, no? Like that, whether I should put my money in the business, whether I should join this company as an employee or not, whether I should take up this course or not, whether I should involve in this project or not. To take or make any decisions in life, you need information. To provide that information to users is the main objective of accounting. Communicating, to provide information to various users based on which they can take or make decision. So that objective can be achieved if you do accounting properly. Next, that's what I told you, ascertain the solvency position. When will you say a business is solvent? If assets more than liability solvent. If liabilities more than assets insolvent. I will give a simple example to understand solvency, insolvency. Take a glass of water, full glass of water or full bottle of water. Put one pinch of salt. What will happen to the salt? The salt will dissolve in the water. Therefore, the water is a solvent. Simple. Water solves the salt. So, this analogy, if asset is water and liability is salt, if water is more than salt, then you are solvent. Because if you consume more salt, you will have to drink more water. You know that or not? If you put some salt in a water, no problem, you can manage. But if you put one drop of water on a bottle of salt, what will happen? That water is not sufficient to solve the salt, correct? So, if asset is equal to water and liability is equal to salt, which should be greater? You tell me, to understand solvency or insolvency. In one bottle of water, I can put one pinch of salt. The salt will be solved by the water. In one bottle of salt, I put one drop of water. Salt will remain. I need more water. I need more water. I need more water in order to solve it. Are you able to understand? Because you consume salt, you have to drink water. So, understand in your mind, asset is water, liability is salt. Asset should be more than liability, water should be more than salt. That means your business is doing well. The objective of accounting is to tell you which is more, whether my assets are more than liability or liability more than assets. The objective of accounting is to tell you that, to understand whether you are financially strong or financially weak. Now, let us go to various functions of accounting. Objective is end product. Function is what are the things you will do in accounting. Process, how you do that. Functions of accounting. Measurement is a function of accounting. Accounting is to provide information. To provide information, you have to measure the transactions or events in terms of money. So, accounting involves measurement. In fact, first comes measurement, then only accounting. I purchase some goods. Can I account the goods? Yes, I have to measure it. How? 5 kilograms of goods. Can I record it? No. In accounting, the information should be provided in terms of money. Therefore, what I should do? I should measure 5 kilograms of goods in terms of money. So, functions of accounting include measurement. Okay? And how to measure it? In terms of money. Forecasting. Using accounting, what I can do? I can forecast. Forecasting is what? Predicting what may happen in the future. But remember one thing, friends, it's very dangerous. Forecasting can at best be an estimation only, that will never be correct. Absolutely, you can conclude that whatever you forecast will never be right unless you have some scientific tools to estimate it appropriately. For example, our meteorological institution is predicting the rainfall, predicting cyclones and all. Almost 100% they are able to match. Why? They have scientific tools for that. Like that, accounting is a tool to forecast what my business will do tomorrow, how it will grow. Is it growing at the rate of 10% or 20%? What has been the profit for the last 5 years? What I will do next 5 years? What was my position 10 years before? What is my position today? Based on this, what will be my position tomorrow? Forecasting can be done. Why forecasting should be done? Because if I do not know what I will do tomorrow, I do not know the path I have to follow. For example, you are now joined CA course, you have to forecast how the exams will be, what questions will come, based on what? The basic records of past question paper, so that you can plan, you can strategize how much time I should spend on a particular chapter, how much marks I will get from this, which is the most important chapter. So, by forecasting, I can plan my actions. So, therefore, accounting function includes forecasting. Decision making, measurement will provide information. Forecasting will tell you what may happen in the future, an estimation. That information will help you to make the appropriate decision. Decision making is an essential function of accounting. What decision? Is it wise to invest in this business? I would have invested somewhere. Shall I put my money in this business or not? Or should I take the investment already I made? Should I reduce my investment? This business is not fetching me adequate returns. That business giving me more returns. So, decision making is a function of accounting. Comparison, evaluation. Comparison should be done for good purposes. Generally, it's not correct to do comparison. But unless you compare, you do not know where you stand. Is it not? You have to compare income expense, whether you have made a profit or not. You have to compare asset liability, whether your position is good or not. You should not only compare your own performance, you should compare your performance with others. Then only you will know whether you are doing well or not. But after you compare, you should see to that how we should grow, not to how put down others. That is not correct. See, if I am growing, very good. I am okay if others also grow. That's what we call as inclusive growth. For the sake of industry, we cannot avoid agriculture. Agriculture also should grow. Industries also should grow. Software should grow. Everything should grow. But unless you compare, you will not know which is better, which is not better. So, I compare my performance of this year with last year. I compare my position with the financial position of others. For what? To evaluate where I stand. To see what I should do tomorrow. I want to become a better person. I want to do better. I should make more money. I should create more wealth for my business. How that is possible? Accounting helps you to do that. Comparing two variables, comparing your performance of this year with last year. We call it as intra-firm comparison, comparing yourselves this year with last year. Inter-firm comparison, your performance with others' performance same industry. Inter-firm comparison. Evaluation. You have to evaluate where you stand. What is your position right now? Are you in a good position or not? All these accounting can help you to do it. So, another important function of accounting is comparison and evaluation. Then we have control. And finally, government regulation and taxation. Control. Measure the performance, forecast the future, take appropriate decision, compare yourself with others, compare your performance this year with last year, evaluate where you stand. You can exercise control where there are some malfunctions or malpractices. Maybe you are not doing well because your salary cost is more, your production cost is more, your material consumption is more, your wages is more, your rent is more. You can control the cost. For this level of activity, this should be the expenditure. For this should be expenditure. Like that, wherever there are difficulty, wherever there are problems, you can exercise control over that in order to achieve better things in life. So, in business also, effective control is very, very important. Controlling is not with any intention to hurt anybody. To improve the process, to get better efficiency, to have good prospects, to ensure that the loopholes are plugged. That is the objective of controlling. Suppose your parents are controlling you, it is with a good intention that you should become a good human being. That is the purpose of control. It's not they derive any pleasure by controlling you. Understand carefully. So, controlling a process will help you to develop, will help you to improve the process. Ultimately, the persons who are controlled will be benefited out of that, or the business will be benefited out of that, and ultimately the persons who have put money in the business will get the benefit out of that. Therefore, accounting functions include control. Then government regulation and taxation. Without government, we cannot do any business at all. It's a government which is providing us with all the infrastructure, with all the benefits. Is it not? They provide roads, infrastructure, communication facility, they give license for all that. So, we need to be good to the government. We need to discharge our responsibility to the government. Government has lot of regulations how your business should be conducted in the interest of the people. Business make profit, no doubt about that. But whether your profit is at the cost of society, your profit should not ruin the society. So for that, the government has lot of regulations. And of course, the government collect tax because government needs money. To run a government needs money, is it not? From where the money will come? We have to contribute that in the form of taxation. So, accounting will help to determine what is the amount of tax to be paid by the businessman. Accounting helps us to ensure that we comply with the government regulations. So, friends, various measurements, functions of accounting include measurement, forecasting, decision making, comparison, very important control, and finally government regulation and taxation. Now let's go to bookkeeping. See, so far we have been learning what is accounting. But there is another thing called bookkeeping. What is bookkeeping? Is it different from accounting? Keeping books of accounts is bookkeeping. Simple. English is very easy to understand, in my opinion. Bookkeeping. Keep proper books of accounts. Systematic record of transactions and events is called bookkeeping. Then what is accounting, sir? Please understand, friends. Accounting is a lengthy process. Are you able to understand? Accounting involves so many processes: recording, classifying, summarizing, analyzing, interpreting, communicating. Lot of responsibilities are there. It involves huge process, many steps. One of these steps is bookkeeping. Just maintaining proper books of accounts is bookkeeping. So therefore, I would say, if accounting is a big circle, bookkeeping is a circle within that. For example, like this. If this is accounting, this is bookkeeping. That means accounting includes bookkeeping. But bookkeeping is not accounting. Let us see what is basically bookkeeping, objectives of bookkeeping first. You may understand it simple. It helps in maintaining a complete record of transactions. Recording. You understood? Accounting is art of what? Recording. Classifying and so many things. So bookkeeping is keeping a proper record. Bookkeeping is an art of record keeping. Then it helps in understanding the effects of the financials on the business. Bookkeeping will help you to maintain complete record of transaction. It helps you in understanding what effect it has on the financials of the business. So these are the two things you will achieve by bookkeeping. So easy to remember, friends. Accounting involves many steps including recording. Bookkeeping is recording. So we can say bookkeeping is an art of record keeping. Keeping adequate, complete, proper, comprehensive records means bookkeeping. Keeping proper books of accounts is bookkeeping. So how bookkeeping and accounting is different? Bookkeeping is a subset of accounting. If you want me to make it even simple, recording, classifying is bookkeeping. Beyond that, summarizing that, preparing financial statement, analyzing that, interpreting that, communicating that, that is part of accounting. So therefore, if bookkeeping is not done, accounting cannot be done. So bookkeeping is an essential and integral part of accounting. Bookkeeping is a subset of accounting. So therefore, when complete record of transactions are maintained properly, it will help you to get into the other process of accounting and help the users of the information to understand what effect it has on the financials of the business. So that's how we try to understand what is bookkeeping. Now friends, we have to learn the various fields in accounting. That means different branches in accounting. Of that, at foundation level, we are learning financial accounting. Foundation level, we are learning financial accounting. What is financial accounting? Preparation of financial statements in accordance with the format and the manner which we normally have to follow. maintenance of proper records, recording, classifying, summarizing, finally communicating. All these form part of the field of accounting known as financial accounting. Okay. There are other subfields of accounting. What are they? Management accounting. Number one, friends, understand all this you will study at the later stages of your CA course. At foundation level, we are going to study only financial accounting. But management accounting, we will study at the next level, inter level, final level, like that. Accounting to help managers take appropriate decision is management accounting. Accounting for managers. See, accounting for the stakeholders, financial accounting, which provides adequate and reliable information. But management accounting is accounting with an intention to provide information to the managers such that they are able to take appropriate decision at the relevant point of time. Why you should do management accounting at all? Who is responsible to manage the affairs of the business? It is a team of managers. It's a board of directors. It's a managing committee. It's a governing body. They are responsible to ensure that the company is taken on the right path, correct? But the members of the team may not have that much knowledge in financial accounting. On the one side, they are responsible to take the company on the right path. On the other side, they may not have the expertise to understand the technical jargons of financial accounting. So, they are responsible to take decision. You have to provide information relating to business in a manner in which they understand. Such accounting is called management accounting, which you will learn at the next level. So, this is nothing but accounting for managers. Accounting for managers. Next subfield of accounting, cost accounting. That is also not at the foundation level. You will learn it at the inter level and at the final level also. Cost accounting. Accounting for the cost involved in manufacturing a product. How to manufacture a product. How to convert a material into finished goods. You have to keep proper records of the cost involved in developing a product, is it not? In developing a process. So, the cost incurred which is required to develop a product, the process of accounting for the cost for developing a product or a process is known as cost accounting. So, accounting for cost involved in production or manufacture. Accounting for cost involved in production or manufacture is known as cost accounting. Let's see, briefly we have to learn it at this point, because at the inter level you are going to have an in-depth understanding of all these things. So, right now it's sufficient to have a brief knowledge about this. Social responsibility accounting. See friends, as human beings, we have a responsibility to society. Yes or no? You earn money, you don't do anything, you have to do something to society. And from where you are generating your income? From the society only. Are you responsible to contribute anything to the society or not? Why we people are teaching you? It's not just to earn money. It is just to create more and more chartered accountants. We have a responsibility to give back to the profession. Are you able to understand? So, whether I make money or not, that is not important. I have a responsibility to contribute to my society. Similarly, a business. Yeah, a business is just to make profit. They should create wealth, no doubt about that, for the shareholders. Good. But do they have a responsibility to the society? Because all the money that they earn is from the society only. All the wealth they created is from the money earned from society only. Do they have a responsibility to give it back to society? Whether a company has a social obligation or not, there is something called CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility. Have you heard about that? CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility. So, a company has to discharge certain responsibilities to the society. They have a social obligation. In order to incur that obligation or discharge that obligation, they have to incur some cost. They are getting the social benefits, and what is the cost incurred for that? Not to pollute the environment, ensure that all systems are there in place to ensure that excretions are not polluted and all. So a company, a business has a responsibility to society. Accounting for the social responsibility comes under the category of social responsibility accounting. Finally, in this field of accounting, we have human resource accounting, very, very difficult one. How to account for the human resources? Without human resources, nothing will move. You may have robots, machines, techniques, so many things you will have, but you need a human brain to activate everything. I am standing in front of a camera, but there is a cameraman who is recording it. Without that person, how I can do this? So, machines will definitely do the things, but it is a human being's brain that does it everything. The most valuable resource in the world is you. Just to go and see in the mirror, you will find the most valuable resource in the world, human resource. You are an asset. Everybody, every human being is an asset to the world. And such human beings are involved in creating wealth for the shareholders. They use their knowledge, they spend their time, they put their efforts. So, for that they are rewarded in terms of money and all, in the form of salary. But definitely for the knowledge put in by them, you cannot compensate at all. So, the most valuable asset in the world is human resource. How do you account for that? That we will learn at the final level, understand. See, it's very, very difficult to account for human resource because first you have to value the human resource. How to value human resource? How to measure? What is my value? What is your value? Very difficult to value human resources, but still there are a lot of mathematical models across the globe, is being created to determine what is the value of resources in human beings used in the business. Accounting for that will be human resource accounting. So friends, various subfields, very interesting subfields are there. You understand carefully, but at foundation level we are going to learn only financial accounting, all other things. Don't worry. You go to next level, inter, final, you are going to learn everything. It will definitely be an enjoyable experience for you when you learn all these things. Friends, now we will see the various users of accounting information. As I told you in the beginning, the purpose of accounting is to communicate information to the users of financial information. Who are the users of accounting information? That's what we have to see now. Investors, employees, lenders, suppliers and creditors, customers, government and their agencies, and also public. So, various stakeholders are there who are interested in knowing the accounting information about the business. Why these people are interested in knowing the information about the business? investors, namely owners, shareholders, these people are interested in knowing about what is happening in a business because they are the one who has put in their hard-earned money into the business. They would like to know what is happening with their money, whether their money are properly, effectively and productively employed for the purpose of generating revenue. So owners and shareholders, whoever has put in money, they are expected to be provided all these informations. Similarly, lenders like banks, financial institutions who also provide money. Because why the lenders need information about the business? Because they provide money to the business for a particular purpose in order to acquire a machine, in order to meet their day-to-day working capital needs. And the lenders are also interested in knowing whether the company will be able to pay off the interest, will be able to repay the loan at the appropriate time. So the lenders are also interested in knowing whether the company is making good performance, whether the company has created adequate wealth so that it will be able to pay off the interest as well as the repayment of loan. Employees. Employees are also interested in knowing the accounting information of a business because employees are the one who are providing the services. They are the human capital, human resources, but they expect some benefits in return in the form of salaries, bonus, gratuity, other benefits. So whether the efforts put in by them will definitely bear fruit in the future or not, employees, and whether it is safe and secure to be employed in this company, and whether they have a status in society by being employed in the company. What is their stature in comparison to others by being employed in this company? So, investors, employees, lenders, suppliers, and so on and so forth, there are many persons who are interested in knowing what is happening in a business. For what purpose employees need this information? Whether the company will pay salary, wages, bonus, gratuity, and their welfare. Whether the company will be able to satisfy all these needs or not. So, for this purpose, even the employees want information about the business. Suppliers and creditors. The persons who supply goods, who render services, they are interested in knowing whether they will be getting continuous orders. It depends upon the performance of the business. It depends upon how frequently they need the services and goods from these people, and whether this company will be in a position to pay off their liabilities in the appropriate time. Creditors are interested in knowing whether the company is doing well. Is it a profitable company? Is it worthwhile to be attached or associated with this company? Can I render service to this company? Can I supply goods to this company? Whether they will pay the money properly or not. Whether they will pay it in time. What is their credit worthiness? All these informations, the suppliers and creditors are wanting to know about the company. So therefore, suppliers and creditors. Goods or services rendered by the outsiders. Prompt payment, they are interested in prompt payment and more orders, whether the company will give them continuous orders or not. So, for this purpose, the suppliers and creditors are interested in the performance of the business. So, every user has a typical use. It's not that everybody has one particular purpose for which they look at the accounting information. Creditors have a different purpose, lenders have a different purpose, employees look the accounting for a different purpose, owners, what is the return on investment, the money invested by them, whether it is producing sufficient returns for me, whether it is fetching the benefits expected by the investors. Customers are those who one provide the opportunity to generate income. They give orders to be executed. Whether the customers are interested in accounting information and why they are interested. Suppose a customer gives an order to a particular entity. Whether the company has the wherewithal to execute the project within time, what has been the past track record, whether the company is able to execute the orders within the time, whether their pricing is good, whether they are competitive or not, whether they are qualitative or not. Now, all these informations can be gathered from the accounting information provided by the company. So, customers are also interested, those who give orders. They are looking at quality, pricing, and timely execution of orders, whether the company is capable of executing the orders within the time, timely execution of orders. For these purposes, the customers are looking into the accounting information. Then who else? Government and their agencies. Government is also interested in knowing what is happening in your business. Why government? Other agencies related to government. Taxation authorities, GST, income tax, provident fund. These are all for the welfare of the employees, provident fund, gratuity fund, for the welfare of employees. Whether the company is able to contribute to that, company is capable of contributing to that, whether the company is prompt in payment of taxes, whether the company is complying with the taxation provisions, whether the company is discharging their social obligations or not. So, therefore, government and other agencies are also interested for what purpose? Tax and social obligations. Whether the company is capable of discharging their social obligation, and whether they are doing it or not. They may be capable, they may be competent, whether they are actually discharging their obligation or not, whether they are filing their income tax return in time, whether they are making the contribution to employees' provident fund properly, whether they are collecting the tax correctly, whether they are paying the taxes properly, whether they are complying with all the relevant laws enacted for that purpose. This information is also very, very essential for the government. So, therefore, they look at the accounting information from that perspective. Then, public. Members of the public are also interested. Why public is interested in a company? The perception about the company in the minds of public is very, very important. Whether the company's products are qualitative, whether they give competitive pricing or not, and what is the benefit that the company is giving to the public. Whether the company has a good image, good product, good brand, whether I can trust in the company. And of course, whether the company is contributing anything to the social requirements of the society. So, the general members of the public are also interested in knowing the accounting information about the company. So, there are various people having different reasons, different purposes for which they are looking at information relating to the company. The accounting information are used by various users. You can categorize them into internal and external users. Who are internal users? Who are external users? External users are those who provide money, who provide services, who provide goods, but are not managing the company. For example, investors, lenders, suppliers, customers, government, public, they all come under the category of external users. They need information, but they are not managing the business. They don't have any control over the business, but they need information about the business. Employees, officers, directors, managers, board of directors, they come under the category of internal users. So therefore, there may be various users. You have to categorize them into broadly internal and external users. External users are those who provide resources, who provide infrastructure, who need information but who are not in a position to manage or control the business. Whereas other category of people are also there interested in the accounting information, employees, officers, managers, board of directors, these people who are managing the business or controlling the business. They are also interested in knowing what is happening in the business. So they come under the category of internal users. You know, the very purpose of accounting is not just to keep recording and summarizing everything. What is the purpose of doing all these things? To communicate. Communicate to whom? What? Communicate accounting information to various users of the accounting information. Who are the users? Broadly, you can classify them into internal, external. Internal users are those who are managing the affairs of business, who are controlling the affairs of the business. It includes employee, officers, managers, board of directors or the governing committee. External users are also there. One who has provided the money, provided the goods, resources, infrastructure. They provide orders and the members of the public. They are not managing, they are not controlling the business. They come under the category of external users. Management, that's what I told you. They come under the category of internal users. One who manages the business, managers, officers, board of directors, governing committee, they come under the category of internal users. Friends, you might be wondering why we have to learn all these things. We should understand that accounting is not for our satisfaction. Accounting is done to provide information to others. So that you have to provide the information in a manner in which is this useful to others. So therefore, understand the reason, understand the purpose, understand the user's requirement. Accordingly, accounting should be done. So therefore, keep in mind, employees are going to use the information, directors are going to use the information, public is going to use my information, government needs information about my business, suppliers need information about my business. So taking into consideration the requirements of various users of accounting information, the company is supposed to prepare and present their financial statements. Okay, friends, this brings us to the end of this first lesson, first chapter on meaning and scope of accounting.